And also what's happening is this joint management agreement in Taupō, which I've been deeply concerned about once I saw it. I thought, hang on a second. And I've been through it, and I've listened to the council workshop, and I've spoken to a number of councillors, and I've interviewed the mayor, and I thought he misled me, to be honest. I thought he minimised what's going on there. This is a council that has refused until now public consultation, not because the councillors don't think there shouldn't be consultation. I think they should be, but because these unelected bureaucrats running the place decided to. It didn't trigger the need for public consultation. How on earth can they decide that? It's the height of arrogance. Anyway, there's deep concern within councillors. They've only had this management agreement for a couple of weeks. It's been a number of years in the making. And I think it goes a huge way to granting powers of veto to local iwi across so many areas. It widens the scope of the agreement. It widens it around different tributaries and rivers running into the lake itself. So it extends the area from which they have power over. And the public, who are just waking up to this, have been shut out. And even last Thursday, they weren't allowed to have their say. They turned up, 60 or 70 people turned up at the workshop. And right at the end, as they wanted to say something, the mayor said, sorry, I ran out of time. God, I'd stand up and storm the floor. Duncan Campbell is a Taupō District Councillor. He was in there. He joins me now. Duncan, g'day.
Hello, Duncan. How's it going?
Good. Nice to have you on. Appreciate your time. Talk us through when you first saw that report. When were you first given it?
All right. Well, I'll just clarify one thing though about the public consultation, and that the staff haven't exactly decided we won't do public consultation, but that is their recommendation at the moment, and the elected members can still decide to do public consultation, but yeah, that hasn't been decided yet. But yeah, we were first really introduced to this September last year when a steering group was set up to discuss it, and at that meeting in September it was actually decided, by a majority vote, still opposed by a number of us, to throw in a lot of other matters, extensions, if you like. And in my mind, that's kind of the root of the problem that we've come to now, and that we've ended up with a draft agreement, which, apart from those steering group members, there's 3 councillors on that, none of us have had a good look at the draft agreement until only several weeks ago, and that's when we started having a closer look. And I suppose and the reason I contacted you really, I was just listening to the commentary on your channel. It's heartening to see how much light is getting shone on this place, Taupō. And I was looking at just watching how it plays out the next few weeks, because I don't generally seek the limelight, but I just wanted to contact you and offer that Christine Rankin is certainly not the only Taupō councillor who's concerned, and several of us do feel the process is being unduly rushed. But as far as I can tell,
I spoke to your mayor recently, and I just thought the mayor minimised everything and misled me almost. There's nothing to be concerned about here. Well, hang on, that's subjective. I think there's a lot for the public to be worried about there. I mean, anything that extends powers behind closed doors is something that the public should be aware of, isn't it?
Oh, well, absolutely. And I think the word minimalisation is apt, because that's how I've seen this whole way through, and how I see a few things that this council goes through, actually. I don't think Taupō District Council is the only council with this problem where basically the bureaucrats run the place and the elected members follow along.
So what are your concerns then about this joint management agreement with the local trust board, with the local iwi trust board? What are your concerns, after you read that the draft agreement, what are you concerned about?
Well, first and foremost, my absolute concern now is that, I'm no expert in governance or steeped in legal nuance, but I could see enough red flags in there that I decided the public needs to know, and urgently, and the public should be consulted with this before this ever gets signed off. And I mean, let's just be real here, if we can. I mean, this only hit the national radar because someone rang the bell, and that was me, not for personal attention or aggrandizing, but because I could see the process was heading off course in a hurry, and I think it needed public scrutiny before it's too late. And the fact that we're even talking now together seems to prove it's struck a nerve.
Oh, no, it certainly has. But I've been around a while now, and I've seen councils, unelected members. I've seen them hold huge influence and huge powers, and I wonder if this is, the mere fact that this would, one of the thing that really got on my goat was that whatever was agreed to in this joint management agreement, whatever was agreed to, it would supersede and override any government changes to the RMA at a central government level. So this contracts out the law effectively. So no matter what the central government did in overarching changes to the RMA, this would not be affected by that. Which I think when the public hear that, and when the government hears, I mean, where's the government on this?
Well, I've heard you say that, and I've read in the document that certainly infers that, but I'm not even sure. Just because Taupō District Council writes up a document that says central government can't come and overrule this, that necessarily makes it so. I'm not sure about that. That is a good question. And, you and me can write a legal document and say whatever we like, but it doesn't mean someone from the outside can come and influence the decisions we suppose.
No, why is District Council, but why are these council officials even agreeing to that sort of thing? Well, who are they to be agreeing to that?
Yeah, good question. But I sort of I think the whole problem with local government overall is that these unelected officials, bureaucrats, if you like, are running these places, and if us people who get elected in there, a lot of us don't have experience in local government, and you get these unelected officials basically telling you how it is, and can be quite intimidating. And what can I say? The elected members, the people you vote in, need to take back control.
Do you feel like you have many powers as an elected councillor? So, all the public sees as the elected councillors, right? And so you guys are where the buck stops. We hold you accountable. We either vote you in or out, and that sort of thing, yeah? But do you feel like there's a whole group of people behind the public view, behind behind the closed doors of the offices and all the little rabbit warrens of the council, the chief executive and all his sort of people, do you feel like they have these enormous powers and they confuse you, and they throw information your way, and there's just far too much at any one time, or there's not enough at any one time, and they are running the show, and you guys are the accountable people for the decisions, but they're the people running the show. They're the people that make all these decisions, and they're unelectable, they're unaccountable, yet they hold huge powers.
Oh yeah, in practice it is like that, and they get paid a heck of a lot more than us lot. but the thing that can change that is I can't change it as an independent councillor if I think something's wrong and no one else around the table agrees. I think there's 12 or 13 of us. The only way that can change is if you have a majority of elected members, and would help if the mayor was on board too, to change direction, change decisions, and get back control.
Yeah, because I look at your chief executive, and I look at the people, the sort of the senior planning guys around her, and all that sort of thing. And to me, they live in their own world. They live in a world away from public accountability, and they've done this deal. And in whose interest is that deal?
Well, I don't think it's in the interest of Taupō District constituents, and I don't blame iwi Tuawharetoa for asking for what they want. That's just what anyone would do. arguably the ones responsible, I mean, arguably you can't even really blame the staff. They're just doing what they think their job is. Blame the elected members who go along with it when they don't have to.
Well, so you guys need an uprising then. You councillors need to stand up for something. And good on you for speaking out too, Duncan. And Christine, I think, is going to speak to us tomorrow. But do you have the majority of council members against this? I mean, if it was put to a vote today, what would it be?